You found your dream home, your offer's accepted, but the appraisal comes in $20,000 below what you agreed to pay. What happens next? First of all, we need to talk about what an appraisal actually is. It is an independent valuation ordered by the lender to determine if the property matches the loan amount. So why would an appraisal come in low? Maybe the buyer offered above comps. Not likely to be the story right now because the market has changed. And that is one of the reasons that an appraisal could come in low is the market's changed. Maybe someone a few years ago bought it, now they need to sell and they paid too high and the market's corrected itself. That's likely the case. The other thing is that the appraiser couldn't see the value in the property compared to the comps. That's happened too. Or maybe like one property down the street that sold wasn't in a flood zone and this one is. The other thing is maybe it's a very specific type of property and they couldn't find any comps. We sold a log cabin a few years ago. There's not a lot of log cabins here. And then you're going back a few years, there's not any recent comps to check. So those are just a few things. So what happens next? There are a few options. The buyer can renegotiate, which is most likely what could happen, and ask the seller to come down $20,000 to match what needs to be on the price, but that needs to be done immediately. The buyer could pay the extra $20,000, not likely the case right now because we have so much inventory. So typically what they would do is terminate the contract in that if the seller didn't agree to come down, or maybe they couldn't sell it. So that's something that could happen, which brings me to my next point. Who pays the $20,000? There's nothing set in stone. Those are all things that can be negotiated with the realtors and discussed, and things that must be discussed immediately because time is of the essence in a contract. So how can a buyer protect themselves from this situation? First of all, when you get your pre-approval, you need to be asking your lender, what is the appraisal guidelines in the mortgage? And talk about these scenarios because this can happen. There are people, sellers right now that we've seen and come across that owe more than what the property's worth. So what happens? Who brings that money to the table? Do you really love that home, or is there another home that you would like to look at? Those are things that you need to take into consideration. If there's any other questions about the appraisal process under contract, please leave me a comment below and ask me, or reach out to me directly. I hope you're finding this information useful and hope you have a great day.